Good and welcome to the Storm weekly recap and roundup of the week. We're just going to be doing this each week and sort of giving some feedback on how the week went and where we're looking to go in the coming week. So I think last week was quite an eventful one. I think the focus in the market has been on obviously the situation in China with Evergrande. I've been reading a little bit this weekend, and a few of the guys in the office also have been. We chatted about which way would have this potential outcome, and I think a lot of it has been priced into the markets. I think BlackRock, one of the big banks involved, have taken a lot of that loss already, and I think now it will just be in terms of watching what the forward guidance is. See this weekend also you've had Evergrande flog at a discount some of their properties. So I think it is something to monitor quite closely. But just quickly looking at some indicators, the dollar obviously was one that sort of has been catching quite a few guys off guard. I think the market positioning is still quite short of this. And just to zoom into it and have a look at sort of where it is, still hasn't really done anything. I think we need a clear break above 93.57 to get anything really stirred up. I think the commodities have run ahead and obviously got quite hit already. So yeah, we'll be paying quite close attention to this. We've also got FOMC this week, which I think is quite important and could even be more important than what's going on in China in terms of markets in general. I think the US 10 year is another one to be watching quite closely. Also done nothing really for the last month or so. But a clear break, either way of 140 could, spark some fear into equity markets, especially, some of the tech sector. So we'll be watching that also quite closely. And then finally, just having a quick look at the Rand, quite important. I think there's, seasonality going into this period of time is for weaker Rand. So, yeah, I think just some levels. We're at that 200 at 1472. Want to keep and monitor quite closely, sort of an inflection point to the next move. I think, the market is looking sort of one that will be positioned or to position for this weaker Rand. If not, we'll have a quick snapback to 1445. So keep these levels in mind. Recent high has been around 1420 odd. So yeah, just to look at some of the stocks, we're just going to go through some of the weekly ideas and what's happened. So obviously Naspers has been in the middle. Quite important with the rebalance happening on Friday. It was quite a big buy. Nothing really happening. Stock has held really, really well. We do, as I said, we've got that weaker Rand, and now I think it's just about digesting or seeing how things play out in China. China tech traded really well into the close on Friday in the States. So let's see how it goes this morning. We need a clear break of 24.15 for further upside. So it'd be nice to see it close above here. And this is one that I think we could be looking to buy this week. Process similarly, it was a big reduction on Friday. So let's see how the market does react to that. I think obviously there might be a bit of overhang. But 1260, 1216 and 1247 are sort of the levels be watching for, if we can get above these to reestablish a bounce to higher. Into the commodity sector, obviously Anglo is really, really ripped. Volume spiked quite aggressively on Friday. It's definitely a stock I wouldn't be jumping in. I think the market is sort of wrong-sided here. Just to give some levels, 520s, level of support, and 574 is where the 200 day is. So keep an eye on those levels. If I think the market's going to have to digest how these diversifieds play out. You've obviously had copper that's holding quite well, but I'll definitely be wary of the sector. Similarly, BHP Billiton, one of the guys' favorites in terms of energy play. 375 is the level of support here. Chart does look quite weak, so I also wouldn't be diving in here immediately on Monday. But let's keep an eye on it. Sasol was one that was quite disappointing again. Really just following the wrong timing with the market, so it's sort of been clattered with everyone else. But I think if we can get 225 to hold, and sort of digest around there, I still think the stock can probably go higher if we can hold around here. Also another one that's a big natural gas energy play. Let's keep an eye on this one also quite closely this week. Impalas is obviously one that we been absolutely obliterated. We've got last day to trade tomorrow, on Monday. So let's keep a quite close eye on this one. It seemed to hold when the kitchen sink was getting thrown at the market in terms of selling. So 183 sort of a level and 199.50. So I'm going to be watching Impalas certainly quite closely early on the week. Sibanye is one that's also, I think, some positive news regarding the lithium acquisition, which was also quite tactical, not a massive overbearing acquisition. So I think the stock around 47, 48, 47, 50, 48, definitely one I think we can risk reward to own. Yeah, is pretty decently in your favor. For a target or bounce of above 50, I think short term this is a pretty decent scalping play that we're going to be watching. CFR is one that has fallen into this China situation. It is last day to trade on Monday. Keep a close eye on this one. This is one that I think the chart is quite weak and does have further potential for downside. I still think, in despite, even if the Evergrande situation is rectified, I think there's going to definitely be a bit of a cultural shift in China and guys trying to target some of the rich and wealthy. Aspen's been just one of the strongest stocks on the board by far. I think it's sort of spoken about this. It's moved sort of in line. If you look at the charts of Moderna and a few of the other drug or pharmaceutical guys making vaccines or in the vaccine space, this is definitely one that we've got to own on pullbacks. It is last day to trade on Monday, but certainly one stock that I think if you pull it out quite far, you've sort of got, you can see the stock can really get going still. Our short-term target has been 244, but I think we can, with time, considering how the world has changed, this is definitely one that we can own. And then finally, let's just quickly have a quick look at the banks. Friday really, really strong into the close. First trend's been between 59 and 61.50. Still have a bias to upside. I think when, as you said, the market was crashing quite aggressively on Friday, this is one that really is holding there solidly. I would definitely pay close attention to this one. And I think similarly with some of the other banks, definitely look to be buying dips in them. I think just a quick look at the gold sector, also been absolutely smashed with a stronger dollar. But I think Gold Fields could be the one that held quite decently in terms of trade action. So maybe if you're going to have a dabble in a Gold Fields is one that we're going to be looking at. And then the rest of the market, we had AVI, which came out with their cautionary and created this quite squeeze. We said if we can get above 72, targets 82. It obviously overdid that completely on Friday. Just keep an eye on that one. We don't really have any set players there. And then ShopRite. I think ShopRite's been also been a bit of two-way action, but I think the bias here is to the long side. I know it's one of the guys' favorites one in the office, and I really think the stock will potentially trade back to $200. Definitely one to be watching. And also I think another one that's really on our radar is Woolies. I think Woolies has been really, really strong. We said we get along with Woolies with a stop loss of 58 to 50. And I think this one, it's regained quite a few levels, and I really think it can break up through 64. So keep those on your radar. So we'll be doing this weekly recap just to give you a bit of guidance into the earlier part of the week and where we're looking to trade. Good luck tomorrow, and we will get our ideas out as soon as possible.